I know that we spoke earlier this morning, but I was already planning on recording this today. I have two readings I'm planning on recording today. So yours and then someone else's, obviously. And yeah, but I want to like mention like while I've been prepping for this, my animals have been around me like this whole time. She was in my lap earlier, and he has just been really clingy, almost to a point where it's kind of annoyed me. But he's kind of like my bodyguard, so I'm just letting him do what he needs to do. Is that Steph? Nope, that's not Steph. Okay, so yeah, like this is the reading. We got to get through a couple of things. There's a couple different parts of this, but the working title actually when I was like drafting this was always having emotion, but then I kind of like came up with something different. Now it's relax and enter flow state, and then progress without a plan. So we're working through those energies, and I'll be honest, I'm not really gonna like look at the live chat that much. I know I am recording this live. I probably should have done it unlisted and then made it live, but I'm just wanting to focus on the energy because I feel like Steph needs this from me. Like she reached out. It's only been like a week and a couple of days since she booked this, but I kind of felt her being like, "Hey, like I need to know." And this was the day I planned on recording it anyway, so we're just gonna do it. The first point is that she wants to look into a relationship with somebody that's important to her. She's using the code name Swan for them. And then she also had some kind of general inquiries into like how to find some deeper like life fulfillment. Um, but I actually kind of don't even want to start with that. I kind of want to start with something a little bit different where I'm just kind of talking about the energy that she's kind of generally coming off with in the world right now. Um, and I don't know why I feel so mentally frazzled about this. I don't know if it's because I'm like doing this maybe a little bit ahead of schedule um, than maybe I normally would. So forgive me if it's like coming out a little bit slower or like a little bit more disjointed than usual. But you see how like my pets are here? Like I feel like there's like some kind of comfort that I need, and I'm like giving it to them. Like you see me like petting them. But I feel like it's actually helping me more than it might even be helping them. But they're making themselves available for me to kind of to give love to, and I know they're always giving me love. So yeah, I want to use this Kipper deck to start, and we'll talk about some of the general overviews. And I think one of the interesting things about my readings is that like you'll book a reading with me, and like you'll have an idea of what you want to get out of that service. Like you'll think that you kind of know what you want, and then a lot of the times I'm guided like as the mediator of the energy, like as the translator of the energy to add in extra stuff, to take certain things out. So what you're noticing in me when it comes to like the processing time is just me figuring out exactly how and what I need to be saying to you as somebody who is completely removed from your life like entirely, and just like wanting to be as helpful as I possibly can be, and only give the advice that makes sense to give at that time. And another thing that's interesting about like this whole energy reading thing is the way that I kind of visualize it in my mind is like at the time that you book with me, you're setting some intentions that like I'm gonna like link up with you psychically at some point in the future, and I'm gonna like touch in with you in your life, and I'm gonna feel you out like from the inside. Like I'm gonna you're giving me such an access point that I'm like inside of your world, and I'm like perceiving your reality from outside of your reality. And then I'm kind of translating that energy of what I perceive back to you in ways that you were like, okay, yeah, this makes sense because this is what I've been living. So, there's not it's not always a good idea, like for my spiritual protection, like sake, for me to like always access you in the timing that you might want me to, or for me to like intrude upon you in a time when you're not ready, or in a time when I'm not in the place where I need to be to do the job that I need to do. So that's just some food for thought. I don't know, like, because I know that you perform services for other people as well. So maybe that could even be helpful for you when it comes to like assessing your own performance, right? Like if there's like a day when you already kind of felt off, like you already kind of like woke up that day and you're like, today is not going to be a good day. Like don't be hard on yourself if your performance kind of reflects that in some way. Like it's totally normal and human to not always be at maximum capacity. And there may be a need for you to give yourself grace. I can't remember like what you have astrologically going on in your birth chart, but I kind of feel like you probably have some fire that's significant. And fire, you know, it's one of the more masculine elements, and it doesn't really always concern itself with the intangible circumstances that surround what it like burns up. Like it's just like I am fire, I burn, and I will burn for as long as there's something to burn. So this could be like the energy of like overbooking yourself, like, you know, like taking too many shifts just because you want to make money and the opportunity is there to make money, but um maybe don't like worry too much about overachieving right now. Like it could be totally okay to just do what's necessary and just get what needs to be done in times when you don't have all of the energy or like tinder to like do the most. You can still do a good job and not do the most, basically. And that's coming through from your like spiritual guidance system, because there could be the potential to burn out. And if you did burn out, then like what would be your backup plan? Like how would you support yourself in the event of a burnout? So although it might seem ideal to kind of go balls to the wall right now, it might actually not be. So this feels like a self-check system. Like even before I actually started to like record this reading, I sat down like in this exact spot and I pulled some cards for myself just to see what I needed to know for myself before I kind of got like into this energy. Because that's important, right? Like, because if I am not aware of myself, then I'll have a difficult time knowing what's me and then what's you. So that's why, like, for me in my position, it's so important for me to have time of stillness. And I hope you're not like hearing this and you're like, why is she talking so much about herself? I think it's actually kind of important to make what's going on for me a little bit known to you. And I mentioned like having the bodyguards, right? So like this could be you making yourself a little bit known to the people in your environment who support your functionality. Like if you're having one of those days, or like if you're having a client that you're having issues with, like it could be a good idea for you to be like, okay, hey, look, this is the person who's doing too much. Can you just like keep an eye on them whenever you see them come in here, because there's a good chance they're gonna come over here and like fuck with me. And if they're fucking with me, then I'm gonna be knocked out of my normal performance, and I just can't like really deal with that. So if you could just help me out that way, like letting people know how to support you could be something that, you know, benefits you right now. I don't know why I keep hearing Fleetwood Mac in the back of my head. It's like, "Time cast a spell on you, but you love me happy." I don't even know the words. I'm hearing that like tune, like it's a jingle in my head. We have Wealthy Man and Thoughts in the reverse. So I don't know yet, but I just looked, so yeah. Especially like, you know, with these like Belgian Malinois type of like guardians, because he's my guardian dog. I literally adopted him for the sake of protecting me when I was living alone in the desert. So he's always been really clear about what his job is, and he does a really good job at like scoping out potential threats. He's not like overly aggressive, but he knows like when to demonstrate the traits that he needs to demonstrate, and he also likes to get praise. So you might have some masculine energies around you that like aren't begging for praise, but really like to receive that from you. Like they really like when you let them know what they're doing right. Just kind of reassurance here could be relevant or helpful for you getting what you kind of want out of the world right now. Time cast a spell on you. I'm thinking of Fleetwood Mac. I don't know the artist, but she's like this witchy woman. Like she's like she's kind of witchy. I'm thinking like hippies, like 70s hippie. So there's some kind of maybe like mystic element of your personality that people are drawn into right now. It could be specifically these masculines. Like you could be the black cat. I don't know why everybody's like. It could be because I'm particularly right now under some spiritual pressure. And so there's a need for me to be protected a little bit more. Because, like, I don't know, they're not always here. And then when they are here, I feel like they're usually more alert. So the fact that they're not alert means that they're doing stuff like in other places, other like, you know, they're active in other ways. Like I'm thinking of my pets as kind of always being active because even when they're asleep, they're never so deep in a sleep that they don't easily wake up if I like move, kind of a thing. So the fact that they're here and they're like kind of like sleeping makes me feel like they're like protecting me from whatever could be on the other end of the screen right now. Because I know that there are people who watch me that are like hating on me, and I know that you're a performer like me, and you perform live also. So I wonder who could be behind the scenes, like you know, watching you when you're on stage, or like this could even be other feminine energies. I'm gonna just take my time with this because I can't rush this. Like I for whatever reason, this is not something that's like easy for me to dive into, and I wonder if recently you've been having any like stutter moments when you're on stage. Like if you have routines of how you dance, and then you're like forgetting what to do, or like you're thinking suddenly, overthinking what to do. If normally you are in that flow state, it could be the impact of people around you who are frustrated with how productive you actually can be when you are just like applying yourself to functionality. Your normal functionality probably goes beyond the average person, and a lot of that probably has to do with that like metaphysical, like magic-y, flowy, Fleetwood Mac kind of energy that you have, like whatever that mystic energy is that you are naturally wielding. And you're from the Philippines, right? Like you're Filipina, so there's like some kind of island girl energy that you have, right? And then I'm thinking of like Hawaiians and like the belly dancing and like hip swaying that they do. So some of the things that like the traits that are making you so like good at what you do, like dancing wise or whatever, are just related to like what comes naturally to you. So there could be people trying to get in between you and your natural state because they would prefer something different, or because they're frustrated by how productive you can be in your natural state. Like there are things that come with you that can't be stolen or bought or replicated easily. So people could even be like watching you over and over and over and over and over again, trying to figure out how to do what you do. Like literally trying to learn from you, but never really wanting to give you credit for what it is that they're picking up or desiring to pick up from you. And then when I'm thinking picking up, I'm thinking now like biting, like almost like a vampire. You know, like swag biters, like that's a popular lingo. So you could have some swag biters in your energy right now that are just like almost desperately wanting to either attach themselves for personal gain or remove you from your position. Like the last reading that I actually recorded like a couple days ago, or not the last one, but the one before last, I think. It was like somebody had actually sent me money for a reading, but it was just so they could like kind of interfere with me. Because of what I was saying about that, how like me giving a reading is actually a transactional experience. Like there's some kind of operation that has to go on. Like I'm making myself available to you, and you're also making yourself available to me because I need to be able to access you in like some kind of mental telepathic psychic kind of way, which sounds like super like goofy and made up, but like it's real because obviously I'm doing it and obviously it's successful and I have business and it's not for nothing. So obviously there's a reality to it. But like somebody sent me money for a reading, and then the whole time I was like, dude, are you my enemy? Like there are people who just like kind of want to test you, like to see what they could do if they were allowed into your energy, and a lot of this just kind of feels like hacking or like the planting of malware. Like I'm even thinking of the movie Inception, when like these people have an agreement. They're like, hey, like I want you to go into this person's mind and plant this seed there, and once you do that, like we're gonna get this person to do what we want them to do. So just be aware of that, like wherever that exists or like could exist or might seek to exist, because there could be people who are like, well, if we can't force this person to do anything, but if we can make them do it on their own, like if I can't even like really get in this person's energy, but if I can send somebody else to get close to this person, then it might work. Or if I can like disguise myself and present myself in like this new way, then it might work. So just be careful of that. People who have like even associations with your enemies that you don't know about. And that could, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Like I think with you working in the kind of environment that you do, because working like the nightlife, like a lot of the girls who are there are like vampires, like you know, like genuinely vampires. And you might like, you know, relate to having a dark feminine quality, but like I feel like you're not you're not malicious though. So this actually is relevant because I used to work at this like sports bar. I wasn't even like working nights really, but like I was working at this sports bar, and there was this girl my age who was friends with this like super big booty bartender who hated me, by the way. Her name was Lindsay, and I go by Lonnie outside of my home. And I feel like that was a thing, like, you know, she was like, your name is kind of like mine, you're also attractive, and like the thing was happening was that like she has like this super like curvy like BBL build, and it's like natural. Like, you know, I'm not taking anything from her natural build. Like she has a natural beauty like in her body. Um, but I'm like kind of skinny and I'm like pretty in the face in ways that like kind of require less of my physical body to like back up. Like I'm just kind of pretty. So like people will come to the bar and like sit over there and they'd be looking at her butt but then looking at my face, and then people would, she kind of like had a way of reacting to that was like kind of, I feel like was more insecure. So she started to kind of like do her little like, she's from New Orleans, by the way. She started to do her little like magic on me. So, so she started to like do her little magic on me, and then she would like fuck up my drinks. So like um people would complain about them and send them back, and then my tip would get like fucked up, and then eventually she pissed me off to the point where I literally exploded on her. Like, not usually is how it goes with me and other women, is they never actually directly beef with me, but I will directly beef with them. Like I have no problem having direct beef, because if I have a problem then I'll just like let everybody know that I have a problem. But that's not how they are. So eventually I kind of like tweaked, and then I got fired after that. Because I tweaked in a way that everyone could see. But she had been tweaking like the entire time that I was working there. Like the entire time that I was in the building, she had been tweaking. But like she was just doing slick shit behind the scenes to kind of like, you know, fuck with my mind and also fuck my performance. And I had like never dropped anything like in the entire time that I was working there. I've never dropped anything because I'm not like a person who's clumsy. But if I like the day that actually before I got fired, like I what did I drop? I dropped something, and it was like the as soon as it happened, I was like, this is, she wanted this to happen. Like she couldn't wait for me to be embarrassed in front of people who I was supposed to be like performing for, providing a service to. So just like be aware of people around you who might like feed off of the energy of your frustration, your confusion, um, or you know just your disorganization internally, you know, like, because you're not like, I don't think of you as somebody who's an internally disorganized person, but there could be people around you who like are eager to kind of depict you as somebody who's incapable of doing your job correctly, or are eager to kind of like present you as someone who doesn't know what they're doing, even if you do, and you're like actually a top performer. Like, people can't wait to kind of plant the seed that you can't do your job right. Because like when I got fired, it was actually like right before I was supposed to get promoted to a more busy shift, because like football season was about to start, and my boss, like my manager, was like, hey, like I actually want you to be on, like, I think it was like Mondays or Sundays, something like that. And he was like, I want you to be on that day because we're going to get a lot more customers and you'll get a lot more money. And I was doing a really great job, like never having any serving experience. I was doing really good. So he was like, yeah, like after a month, he was like, I want to put you on this night. And then that whole thing happened. And then when he fired me, he was like, you don't have enough experience. Like, he had to just kind of like make something up. Like, there was no real good reason why I got fired. He just made something up. And the easiest thing to say was that I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have experience because it was my first serving job. So, like, sure, you could easily say that, and like, you know, who could really refute it? But yeah, so yeah. Now we're gonna get into like other stuff. I haven't even pulled cards yet. I've just been like kind of telling you what the energy feels like to me. Because I was supposed to be pulling from this deck right here. So let's see how that goes. So angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, please help me to connect with Stephanie so that I can translate this message, this reading to her in the way that she needs to hear it in order for it to have the impact that it's meant to. Please help me to clearly and accurately see what's being shown to me in the cards so that I can, you know, be the best vessel that I can be. And yeah, also help me to center myself in my energy so I can differentiate between myself and the person that I'm meant to be serving right now. You might want to like put some protection or like intention around your service. Just making sure that you're being clear either about like what's wanted from you or how you're going to be performing and what the extent is of your performance. Like the whole, I spent some time in the earlier part of this reading like kind of disclaiming some things about myself. So when it comes to like this protection, because my dog is here and he's, you know, I mentioned he's like a guardian angel of mine. When it comes to you and being able to like properly defend yourself from people in the nightlife community, it could be important to like really express what those boundaries are that you have. Like Lindsay, one of her boundaries as a bartender was that like she wanted to be the only person behind the counter. Not all the bartenders were like that. Like some of them were like, yeah, it's totally cool if you need to just like grab a beer, like just grab a beer, like whatever. I have stuff going on. But she had like this control thing. So she was like, I will do everything, but then she also would be frustrated if she got like kind of like if there was a lot going on and she couldn't do all of it. But I don't know. I know that you have this whole thing like when you're a dancer that you don't do any of the extra like sexual things that some of the other girls might do. And that's kind of related to this whole like vampiric status I was talking about before. Like you definitely are differentiated amongst your coworkers for what you do that others don't do, and then also what you don't do that others do. So like if your environment, there's probably some like 304 kind of girls who are looking for side money on top of the money they're already making, and you're not really looking like one of those people who are like prostitutes. And then when it comes to the actual performance of dancing, you can embed some kind of like artistic nature into the way that you dance. You're dancing not in a mechanical kind of robotic way. You're dancing in a way that I kind of enjoy what I do here. I think of it as art and I want to share it with you because I know that you'll enjoy it too as much as I enjoy doing it. So yeah, differentiation I feel like is really clear and is probably one of the reasons why you might be making more money than the average person who's around you right now. one of the things I think that differentiates me between other readers is the casual way in which I do my readings. So, like, pretty much every reading is a completely unique experience. There's not like a formula that I'm following here. And I think part of the reason why it's like that is because I've been doing this for so long. And I'm just, genuinely good at what I do. Like, this is something I have, like, a feeling of mastery over. Even if I do have, like, still some things to learn, or, I don't doubt my ability to do a good job whenever I start recording a video. Like, I kind of already know that things are going to go the way they need to go, and that I'm prepared and equipped to provide a good service to my clients. So I feel like you have some kind of confidence or self-assurance about yourself that's translating right now. And if you don't feel like you do, this is a good time to build that. I'm like even less and less needing cards. Like, I don't know if there's something that you're evolving out of in your own routine and habit in the workplace. And that's something that I actually wanted, right? Because, like, since kind of like re-devoting myself a little bit more seriously to Christian philosophy, I feel the need less and less to even interact with my cards, which is so funny and silly because I have so many of these decks. So now, like, I kind of just like touch them, and I like use the energy that I kind of get from holding them and shuffling them, and I let that kind of get my gears grinding. But I less and less need the actual confirmation of the decks. And I think that actually could relate to you, like, when it comes to spiritually, because I know there was a time when I used to, like, give you a lot more readings than I currently do. So this could even be a point in time when you're needing less and less confirmation because you're getting more and more in flow, which goes back to the title of this reading, which is Relax and Enter Flow State. So it's like, you could, just really be in a stream or a current of productivity right now that's really suited towards your goals and your ambitions, to the point where you need less and less of a crutch. You need less and less guidance because you're starting to realize that you already kind of know what you're doing, and that you can trust that you know what you're doing. And when those moments of kind of doubt and insecurity come in, that's when the cards like start coming out. That's when those like synchronicities start like becoming available for you. So I feel like you're the kind of person who can like read into the events that are like kind of unfolding in your reality. And I have a deck here called the Unfolding Path, so I might be using that later. Okay, what? We have the Main Male and Mature Man. Why is there so much masculine energy in your reading? That's kind of weird to come up. I don't know why. Because I can't immediately understand why these people are here. Mature Man and Main Male. I mean, you're literally working in nightlife as a dancer. So this could be like two specific clients, or this could be a boss and then your bodyguard. Or like the bouncer did. These could be people who have interest in you romantically also. Let's see how that develops, because as of right now, I'm not quite sure. I know that you're like, traditionally lesbian, but I wonder if you would change your mind about that. And that could be so, that could be what people are like thinking, like some of these masculine energies. Like, they might know that, like, that you're not, like, they're not normally what you would like or go for, or they might know there's some barriers to having a certain kind of experience with you, but they might be willing to go beyond them. And I want to tell you about this thing. I go to church, and when I go there, I'm not really going there to like super network crazy. Like, I'm not like talking to random other people and like exchanging contact information. Like, I'm not there yet. So I don't do that. But I have noticed that there are some people who have been like looking at me like they've been noticing that I'm showing up, and then they've like noticing my outfits and stuff like that, and then they're just kind of like looking at me. Um, so there could be some people in your environment who are interested in you. Maybe even frequent the places that they see you at for like hoping to see you there. Cause like if it's like people who are clients at your club, so they don't know what your schedule is unless like there's some way that they could. Um, but they might like literally be showing up just to see you, like hoping that you're there. What else for stuff? Mature woman. What? Family room in the reverse. Okay, one of the things that I wrote down for you actually was ice woman. Not necessarily sought after for your maternal qualities. And I was thinking of like literal Russian women when I was channeling this energy. I actually wrote that down and I sent you the picture of it, so I know that you already saw that, but I was literally channeling actual Russian women, and I thought about Melania Trump, and then I also thought about Peaky Blinders when the Russian guy is sitting down at the table for like a meeting with Tommy Shelby, and he's like just like small talking, but it's like crude like male small talk, and he's like, Russian women, they know like how to grab it and also when to let it go. And he's talking about like a style of interaction. So there's something about your style of interaction with masculine energy that they really enjoy, and they feel like there's a compatibility with. But these men are not necessarily thinking like, not necessarily like that's what I mean. Like they're not to say that you're not like having maternal qualities, but like they're not necessarily thinking like, oh, I'm gonna like have a baby with you. Like they're more so thinking um like you're like me, like you're the opposite of me, like you're like me as a girl, like because we have mature man and then we have mature woman. So I think that these are men who are feeling prominent, right? Because there's main male, so they're like, okay, I'm alpha, like I'm top of the top, like I'm a big baller, like I'm this, that, and the third. And then when I look out in the world and I think of what I might look like if I was the opposite, then it's you. And that's what makes them like you. They're like, if I was gonna be like a girl, I'd be you. Or I really like how you compliment me and my masculinity. Like you make me feel strong, or you make me feel seen as I am, like genuinely. And then there's like a mutual appreciation. I wonder if you're having like any kind of banter with specific customers that make them feel like you could be a friend of theirs. Like they might want to like literally be your friend. Cause you seem like you're cool. Like the ice woman thing, like it's like a cool girl thing. Or yeah, like sometimes I go on hikes to the gas station, and I'm starting to be known there too, cause I get the same beer every time, and I just kind of like bring my speaker with me, and I play my music outside out on the corner, and then I just drink my beers, and I have my cool dog with me. And then there's like this one like older guy. He's like probably retirement age, and he brings his dog. He like drives up with his dog, and he'll like wave at me. He's like a white guy, and he also comes for beer. So we have like a mutual appreciation of the fact that we like drink beer, and that we're usually like out and about in the world with our dogs around midday. And I think they appreciate the fact that like I walk there, so like I'm physically active. Like I'm obviously a healthy person, but then I also have like some of these vices that they relate to. Um, uh, the gas station actual clerk dudes, they like me too. I think mostly because I have manners and I say thank you and I ask them about how their day was, and it's like a small interaction, like where they can kind of like just feel seen maybe a little bit more, because I used to work at a gas station for 2 years, so I kind of know how it feels to like just be a robot to a person as a gas station clerk. So I think that's part of the reason why I do kind of interact with them the way that I do, is that I'll be like, hey, like what's going on, like what's up. And then you get like a little bit of like a back and forth there. And it doesn't really go any further than that, but it's just like, hey, like when I see this person, I know that they're friendly and that I can like, kind of relax around them even just a little bit because, they're like a good person, at least to me. So, I feel like that's kind of like the aura that you're giving off. Is like you have some kind of like charismatic, easygoing, cool, chill vibe, and that kind of is maybe like making you seem more rare. And like the masculine energy is like kind of important here because I feel like you probably are interacting with a lot of men working at a club as a dancer. So that makes sense. That makes sense. It checks out. But even if you are interacting with other women, you probably, I don't know, like I feel like other women probably don't they probably don't like always love you so much because of the fact that you get along well with men. And that's something that not a lot of women can do. And when they do get along well with men, it's usually based in some kind of transactional experience. Um so yeah, I feel like you're going beyond a lot of women in that way, but that kind of is what makes you this like more apex like alpha female that actually matches up with the alpha men. Because I feel like alpha men have that same kind of thing going on, is like alpha men amongst like average men. Like there's like they're obviously outdoing, like they're obviously having something extra. And I feel like whenever you're having something extra than people who are normally would be your peers, there's some kind of like, how do I feel about that? And usually there's some kind of like jealousy or like comparison that makes someone feel more insecure than they really need to. So there definitely probably is a lot of comparison going on in the environments that you're a part of right now. Just because of what it is that you have extra that you've been blessed with that just differentiates you from what's around you. I definitely have like noticed that I dress, I don't want to say better than other people at church. But I do have like a personal style. Like there's a uniqueness to the way that I kind of put my clothing pieces together. And I let myself take risks, and I don't mind like letting my arms be seen in public. And, like I'm not like I don't know, like I don't care as much about following all of the rules and norms that some people do, because I guess in their mind they have something to kind of like prove, and I don't have so much to prove all the time about how like godly I am. And if it's like for you as a dancer, it could be that you don't have so much to prove about how sexy you are. Like your sex appeal is kind of obvious. Like you don't have to like shove it in people's face. Like you don't have to have the most chunky butt or the biggest boobs or whatever. Like the things that people normally would think would make them be a top performer, you might not even have those things. Like I don't even like have a car right now. I don't even drive, but I still feel like pretty like there's a lot of things that I don't have actually. But like I still feel like when I think of myself and I have thoughts of myself, I usually have pretty good self-image, and that's like having full awareness of where my flaws are as a person. I feel like you have some kind of like just genuine solidness about you. That makes it easy for you to just show up as yourself and then receive the rewards for doing that. And it's related to this kind of like maturity, even if you are younger than some people around you. And you probably are getting some bane people who are older than you because of how like alive you are, or how much freedom you still seem to have, or like some people might have had children and that's affected their body in some kind of way, and then you're still like kind of in this more virgin state. So yeah, I feel like you could be receiving some projection from people who are just kind of feeling a little bit envious of your status in the social world, like the hierarchy of appreciation, even from like managers, right? Like if you are someone who's getting those consistent Friday night, Saturday night shifts at the club, like people who are kind of stuck on Monday night, Tuesday night are, you know, maybe feeling a way about that because they want to have access to the higher volumes of clientele. And they might even feel like, hey, I need this more than this person does because of all the things that I have going on, or all the dependents that I have to like manage. We have wealthy men. Like, you seem like you're getting more. People are frustrated with you right now because you seem like you're getting more. Adjudication. But this is happening, whoever is making the decision to give you more, whether this is God, this is like some kind of literal masculine energy, whether or not it's a man, like it could be like someone, like your boss who schedules your shifts. It could be the clients that are deciding to give you what they decided to give you, right? Because like in like a strip club, you know, people just like give free will. Like, you know, it's up to them what they want to engage with and like how much they want to engage with that person, and then they give in accordance to that. So I mean, I just feel like people are like pocket watching you probably, and you seem like you're making more, you're taking home more. False person, like this is somebody who's like hiding behind a veil to kind of like be aware of you. So I don't know if you have like a locker system. If you like, you probably want to keep like a lock. Make sure you're not like trusting anybody with your combination. Like even your like best girl there, like she could be your best girl there and you still don't give her the combination to your lock, basically. Because I feel like people could, you know, at some point want to like jump you. What the hell? There could be some more ghetto broads in the joint, but I mean, I feel like people might want to team up against you to like kind of get rid of you, which is what happened with me and that other girl. Like I mentioned before, like the girl that was my age was like friends with Lindsay, and then they kind of like teamed up a little bit to like fuck with me. And I had no idea that the girl who was my age was like my enemy, but she was actually. Like she was jealous of the difference in our attractiveness. Like I'm objectively more conventionally attractive than she is, and that's not coming from like a place of like self-absorbency. It's more like just a objective awareness of the way that people reacted to both of us. And some of that stuff you just can't control. Like some of that stuff is just, it is what it is. But not everybody is as ready to accept what is. Some people are still in a place of resistance to what is, to a point where their desire to resist what is actually ends up like destroying things in their own life. Because I, you know, never cared to remain aware of any of my coworkers from that job after I left, but I'm willing to bet things kind of went downhill after I left because I was like one of the main people making that place interesting. Like everybody else who was there was just like NPCs. Like they, I don't want to be mean or anything, but they were just like, they look like randomized Sims, kind of. And I consistently kind of reign supreme in any environment that I'm kind of put in. It's like, it's kind of hard for me not to stand out. I think I'm just kind of meant as a person to stand out. And I'm not the kind of person who's like, because I'm standing out, you can't stand out. I think a lot of times God puts me in places to stand out so I can set an example to other people and how they can start to stand out. And I don't even really mind if people start to like kind of copy me a little bit or start to kind of like, you know, do things the way that I do things, because I feel like that's exactly what should be happening. Because like, you know, I was baptized, so, you know, I kind of feel like God operates through me, and that's kind of how I want my life to be. So, like, if you're seeing me and you're finding such an inspiration to the point where you're like, I kind of want to, like, you know, be like this person, then, like, sure. Like, why not? Why would you not? Like, I wouldn't want anybody to like hold themselves back from being their next version of self, next best version of self, just because I'm currently occupying a certain level of prestige. Like, everybody should be growing. People who don't feel like they can grow are people who really are frustrated the most by your growth. Because, like, you'd be crazy if you thought that I never had anybody who inspired me, right? Because I'm somebody who's always finding inspiration in the world around me. Like, I'm actually intentionally looking for leadership and role models who have already kind of achieved things that I want to achieve. And then I'm remaining aware of them too. And then I'm kind of like hoping that I can kind of be like them. An example of this is actually Nara Smith. I love Nara Smith so much. Like, everything she does, I love it. And she's actually from Germany. And she also has a white husband. And she has like the short haircut too. So you might, like, in some kind of ways people could, accuse me of being a swag biter. But the difference between me and like the average swag biter is that I show a lot of respect to those that I actually do take inspiration from. Like, you'll always hear me saying, oh, like, I look up to Nara Smith. Like, if I were to get, like, nominated for some kind of award, I would mention her. Because I don't claim to, have gotten to anywhere that I've gotten by myself. Like, I just couldn't and wouldn't. So, yeah. I feel that's the kind of, like, healthy inspiration that you know how to, like, live in. But people around you might, like, really not know how to, like, give somebody credit and then follow suit. Like, it's too much for them because their pride is all messed up in it. Like, I have no problem saying, like, Nara Smith has kind of inspired a lot of my current style. Because this wasn't always my style, right? But then I kind of evolved to a point where, like, this is where I wanted to be. Like, this is who I wanted to be, and then so this is who I am. And that's, like, something that's easy for me to do, is to, like, kind of create an image in my mind of where I kind of want to be, and then just kind of, like, line up all my actions with kind of matching that, and then through doing that, becoming that person. And it's not something that I feel like I need to rush. It's not something that's overnight. It's something that, like, I will take everyday individual actions to kind of build. So in that way, I'm not, like, biting it. I'm really just kind of, like, savoring the representation that's available for me, in the same way that I might, like, study the Bible, or, like, stuff like that. It's like there are always going to be role models that are available for you to kind of derive inspiration from, and I feel like you should be doing that wherever you can. Now, there might even be some influencers, like other dancers that that you really appreciate. Like, there could even be other girls, like, in your environment, like, at your job, who have more experience than you. And this could be a time when you're, like, really wanting to be like, hey, like, I've learned a lot from just watching you. Like, thank you for putting as much effort as you have put into being how you are, because when I see you do that, I go home and I practice on my pole, and then I learn how to do it, and then now I can do it. And if you are, like, copying anybody, know that people are going to know if you're copying them, because, like, anybody who ever did something for the first time knows what they look like, even in other people. So people could tell. So it's important that you are giving that credit so that you don't look like a vampire. People, because if you don't want to be seen as a vampire, then you need to do what's necessary to kind of, like, show the necessary submission. But I feel like that's not something that you probably have to worry that much about, because I feel like you're somebody who has, like, the awareness of self, and then also the awareness of others, to know how to, like, properly socially navigate situations like that. Okay. I'm trying to think, what do I want to talk to you about next? I have, like, this whole page here, but then I already kind of sent it to you, so, like, some of this stuff I don't even know if I need to really say. But I'll just, like, tell you what I wrote down again. So I wrote down cult of personality, unique ability to draw on attention to the individual self, sense of humor, complex internal workings, the ability to connect on a primal level. I wrote down dog whisperer, having, like, too much sauce, or, like, too much steez. The Peaky Blinders thing, the Ice Woman thing, the finding fulfillment thing. I feel like we kind of already like talked about that at least a little bit, so I won't spend too much time on that. I think it could be a good time to transition into the relationship inquiry that you had. So we'll talk about that relationship with Swan, and I'll tell you a little bit about what could be going on there. What was interesting about that to me was that I have a mutual on TikTok. She's also another tarot reader, and her name is one of her little emojis that she uses a lot is a swan. It's Ashley. I don't know if you've ever like heard me give her a reading before and then felt like you related to her, or if that rings any bells to you, that name Ashley. But yeah, she also uses the swan emoji a lot, and she actually just recently started a new relationship too, and she also recently booked with me as well. So it's interesting that you guys are like kind of mirroring each other a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna use this Unfolding Path tarot because I said I was gonna use it. So sorry if I'm like stuttering. I talk really fast and my brain works really fast. I love to like rage bait my cat. She's not reacting to it anymore. She doesn't care. Anyways. Hey. Yeah, the German guy knows about rage bait. He's comforted by rage bait. Can you not lick so close to... Thank you. Thank you. He's a licker. I don't really like to be licked. But that's just what he does. So, yeah. What do you need to know about your relationship with Swan? Okay, dude, it's making me uncomfortable. Thank you. Keep your tongue in your mouth. He has like a little baby face. Like sometimes I look at him, he looks like an actual complete creature, like an actual dinosaur dog. And then sometimes he has like a baby face, like he looks like a literal toddler. So it's really interesting that duality between like I am the most innocent creature on earth, and then also I am the most complete destroyer of all things. Also, for a Belgian Malinois, he's pretty light brown in the face. Like, he has the black snout that pretty much all Belgian Malinois have, but he's not completely black-faced, which I like about him, because I've noticed that Belgian Malinois that have, like, the completely black face are usually complete menaces, So he's not a complete menace. He's, like, a partial menace. He's not the extremist, not the most extreme of the extremists, but he might still be extreme. He also a lot of times will demand to be close to me on like his terms, and then if I like tell him like no or like don't come close to me, then he'll like go super far or like he'll like punish himself whenever he gets corrected. Like there's literally a cage. You just knocked over my tea. Dude. Hold on, I gotta like get this up before it sinks into the carpet. Son of a bitch. Well, I don't even know what I'm supposed to use. I don't have a whole bunch of extra towels. Sucks because it was actually like really good tea. I keep hearing Fleetwood Mac in my head, like still. Time cast a spell on you, but you won't forget me. I wonder if you're reminding someone, like one of your clients, of like their ex or something like that. And go somewhere where you're not gonna be a hindrance to my productivity. Dude, I have to work. He's gonna just chew the bone behind my back. Okay, yeah. So, Swan, what do you need to know about that relationship? Who's Swan? What's going on between them and Steph? King of Pentacles in reverse. This is a little tiny deck. Seven of Wands in reverse. Page of Swords. Seven of Swords in reverse. I'm gonna pull one more for this row, actually. The Devil. And there's a lot that came out with that. Hangman, Queen of Wands, Ace of Swords, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, Five of Swords, Two of Swords, Queen of Cups. I'm putting that immediately away. I feel like there could be a possibility for some of the people that you're attracted to actually kind of be a little jealous of you. I think this could be because this could be a same-sex relationship. So I mentioned that whole like comparison feeling going on. It's like, what do you have that I don't have? How do I compare to you? I don't know how that necessarily applies to your specific situation. Like, if you met this person at work, you could outperform them. And you're not invested in that because you don't over-invest in your metrics or whatever. But this could be somebody who's like occasionally like likes you, appreciates you, but then whenever you kind of go beyond them in certain ways, they're like, ugh, this kind of bothers me. Why is the King of Pentacles here? King of, or Page of Cups in reverse. I'm not sure how far this would actually develop. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. I can see that there might be like some kind of mutual interest, but you probably would be willing to take that further than the other person would. Yeah, we have 3 pages now. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. See, like, the thing is about who you're attracting right now is a lot of times I feel like you're going beyond them in a lot of different ways, not even just in, like, what you're able to pull in, but then also the work you've done on yourself. Because people are having, like, maybe curiosities about you because you're just, like, an objectively attractive person, but then it's, like, what is that curiosity really based in? Is it, like... And, like, given access to be closer to you, would they know how to handle that? Why is the Devil here? This could be like mutual doubts as well. The Star in the reverse, yeah. Like, you are different and you're different from most people who are around you, and I think the true lesbian nature of your attraction. You're not a male attention seeker in an environment full of male attention seekers. So, like, there could be some girls around you who are, like, kind of, like, fake gay. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, like, I'm interested in, like, you know, I'll kiss girls or, like, I'll do gay stuff, but, like, at the end of the day, like, I like men. And, like, I would choose a man over you. Like, I feel like that's kind of what this person is. Like, this person, you know, might be looking at you and they're like, oh, like, I'm attracted to you. But it could be, like, more of a, like, I want to be you kind of attraction. So just be careful of that. Like, you know, like, they might be attracted to you just because they literally want to be you, or because you're the kind of woman that they want to be, or, like, you represent something to them that, like, that they have some kind of subconscious draw to. But then it's, like, whatever that thing is that they're subconsciously drawn into about you is, it's like they're repressing that thing. This actually kind of reminds me of, like, even my own situations. It's like, a lot of the times, like, white men. But then there's, like, that whole, like, interracial stigma thing going on. And, like, I'll know that they're attracted to me, but it doesn't mean that they're, like, gonna be, obvious about it. Or it doesn't mean that they're gonna, like, want to go public or feel comfortable, like, letting people know that they're attracted to me. Because, like, some of them overinvest, I feel, in what that stigma actually is. And that's just, like, you know, what happens sometimes. I kind of pick up on that a little bit here. It's like, there's definitely interest, but, like, how much of that is going to ever, like, translate into actions that are, like, concrete? And then what's stopping that seems to be, like, the Devil clarified by the Star in there is the lack of healing and the attachment to things that hold someone back. So, like, this person might have more demons to fight related to their sexuality, or may even already be locked down somewhere else. But you might continue to, like, exchange glances with this person, or just engage with them in some kind of, like, surface level flirty way that feels like it doesn't have consequence. And that might be the comfort zone right now for this relationship with this person, is like, I just want to engage with you in ways that don't really seem to matter. Like I might compliment you, or we might like have some kind of like prolonged eye contact, but as far as like hanging out outside of wherever I normally see you, I don't know that I'm ready to do that yet. Or like, you know, like holding hands in public or like something like that. Like, you know, some of that stuff, like if it does happen, it might need to be worked up to over time because of a person's readiness to just like let go of some of these things that are holding them back. And that especially kind of like tracks if this is like same sex. Time cast a spell on you, but you won't forget me. But I do feel like this is somebody who's gonna like keep an eye on you though, because they do like what they see. Yeah, the Fool in the reverse, that's like Aries, the first house, the identity. So like there's something going on in their identity that they don't understand quite yet. Seven of Cups, they're a little bit confused about it. I'm getting like more bi-curious energy off of this person than like just outright gay. And I feel like you're outright gay. So that kind of leaves you in this like kind of precarious position. Alright. Cool. I'm gonna get some advice actually for you on like how you should handle that situation with that person. My dog is laying on all my cards. Like he's kind of being a little bit of a hindrance here. Gotta like reach under his neck. But he just likes to be close to me. And get his butt patted sometimes. He thrives off of this. It's actually part of our bedtime routine. We have no place like home to just like fell on the floor. Okay. So what's the advice for Steph dealing with a swan person? A change in the wind is a zebra. Like, the kind of creature that you are, I feel like people like it because it's different. It's novel. People feel lucky to have someone like you around. But then they don't always know, like, how to embrace the reality of having the black cat on their lap. So you're obviously a black cat. People have different responses to that. Even, like, within themselves. Like, about their own black cat nature. Because I feel like probably everybody on Earth has, like, a quality or a trait about themselves that, like, is controversial in some kind of way. And, like, obviously I'm really comfortable with mine. I feel like you're really comfortable with yours. But some people, you know, don't have control, like, or they don't have complete acceptance of some of these traits about themselves that make them, what's the word I'm looking for? Liable to be rejected. So people who are like really concerned with never experiencing rejection from the world around them are not going to have the same level of comfort with their black cat as you and I might. And that kind of affects their ability to walk confidently in opportunities that are kind of being made available to them. But you remember how I was talking before about how, like, I feel like God works through me sometimes? So I feel like, you know, God could be working through you to kind of, like, trigger some awakenings in people. Like, I mentioned the whole, like, bi-curious thing, so I feel like this person could be, like, seeing you and they're like, wow, the way that you are, I really like it, I'm attracted to it, and I'm interested in it, and I'm gonna kind of allow you to represent the thing that I'm interested in, and I'm not gonna like charge straight ahead into it, but my interest is there and it's continually being evolved and developed by my relationship and proximity to you. So now he's watching from the back. So like this person, like, you know, they might, like, if you try to engage them head on, they might retreat and then kind of like sit in the back and just kind of like watch you from afar. Come to the edge in reverse. Yeah, literally exactly that. Because it feels safer to have your back up against the wall, you know? Because then you only have to really worry about like what's in front of you that you can see. Like if we're not usually like in bed, he'll usually choose that spot. Like this could be somebody who, like, you know, would would engage with you in like this like sexual way or like experiment with you in some kind of way, but then outside of that actual experience, they need their security blanket, you know? Like they need to feel safe and secure and protected from rejection, not only from other people, but then also from themselves. I'm wearing my half evil shirt today. It's like I wonder if there's some kind of like guilt or something. Like self-condemnation or self-hatred even. Imagine in reverse. Yeah, I wouldn't like over invest in this in the early stage because I feel like that could leave you like unfinished symphony. That could leave you vulnerable to like the fact that this is like still a work in progress, and that because it's a work in progress, you don't there's no real clear way to predict how this could go. Exchanging gifts in the reverse. And if you're still like having the opportunity to interact with this person, like it's cool to like be attracted to them and interested in them, but like try not to let your crush evolve to such a point that you would be like heartbroken or like devastated if things didn't work out. Or if you suddenly like if this person started to like shut down a little bit because of their own stuff, and then like it would affect you negatively. Like that would be something that you are guided to kind of avoid, is an over investment into this in its more precarious state. Okay, so finding fulfillment is the last part of this reading. Oh, I'm only a little thirsty. Okay, so what are the things that do bring you fulfillment? I think that's kind of important to being able to find it. I just heard friends with benefits. The guide, inheritance, and correction. It's like a bell. I'm also hearing the Jack Skellington song. What's this? What's this? There's something in the air. I think you're honestly fulfilled by opportunities to explore or like expand. Like I'm thinking of literal Jack Skellington, like when he was like the king of Halloween Town. and then he's like, well, what the fuck else is there other than scaring people? Like I'm really good at it, but obviously, you know, I'm the best at it maybe even. But what else is there? And then he finds this little door into this completely different biome where the vibe is completely different, and he has something new to learn how to be the best at. I think you're being guided to opportunities to expand upon either what already exists or just completely like transition into something new. The Patron, mentorship and finances. Are you fulfilled by money? That tracks. But even if it's not that exactly, it could just be like there's just a new skill that you might want to learn. Have you ever, you're a dancer, right? So like maybe you want to start incorporating belly dancing. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but I like to belly dance. Learning new ways of movement. I don't never seen you actually dance. I can't say that I know, but there could be like something about including more like sensuality, because this is coming out on top of the mature woman. So reflecting more control over self, knowledge of self in the way that you move in the world could bring you more fulfillment, or just bring you more fulfilling outcomes when it comes to like receiving money. Because I've been noticing actually when I post dancing videos, like they do pretty well. But I'm kind of like nervous about like making my entire social media identity like me dancing, because I feel like I'll become overly sexualized. And like I've always been a dancer. Like I've always danced. Like my entire life since I was a kid, I've danced. So that's why I'm good at it, right? But like there's a reason why I don't just dance in front of everybody. And I'm not like judging you. I actually kind of am inspired by you, the fact that you do it. But I am personally nervous about what will happen to me if I do. And that's like, you know, I thought about the devil here, like those limiting beliefs. That could honestly be one of mine. Now that I think about it. I could be a great I could be a great stripper, actually. I've actually always known this. I've actually always known that I could be a great stripper, but I'm just scared to live in that potential. I personally am fearful. But once again, like super glad that there are people like who do strip and come to me for guidance, because I feel like that's an aspect of myself that's just like latent. Like, you know, like in another like universe. Like, so I don't know, when it comes to like what could like bring you fulfillment, now could be a good time to think about like who would I be in another universe, like what are these alternate identities. I talked about Halloween, and one of my favorite Halloween costumes I've ever been was Catwoman. I really feel like I'm basically Catwoman, so I don't know what characters you really feel inspired by. The Champion, because I was talking before a lot about like role models, like for me like Nara Smith, I already mentioned. She's like one of my main, like I don't do a lot of celebrity worship personally, like even actors and stuff like that, like I really don't usually give a damn, but her I really like. So yeah, I wonder who that could be in your life. Like who are the people around you who you kind of like feel inspired by, you kind of want to be more like them. I follow this one girl on TikTok, and she's like she's like super platinum blonde and country as fuck. But I like her content because I figure like if I were to get married and like I was like staying at home, I would just make content out of everything that I was doing at home, and then that would be like passive income stream. And that's what she's doing. And she's actually a Southern personality. Like she was invited to co-host some events somewhere. I don't know where she lives, but she was like on stage, and she was like inviting people on stage, and she was like giving awards and stuff like that, and she was doing interviews. So I was like, that's cool. So I don't know, there could be some kind of greater or larger personality yet for you to evolve into. And it's funny, I mentioned Ashley earlier, and one of the earlier readings that I ever gave her was encouraging her to kind of create her own business. And now she's a tarot reader, and she has like, I actually checked, She has over 10K on TikTok now. And like she didn't even have like I don't even think she had platforms before I don't know, honestly, but I don't think she had platforms before I gave that reading. I don't know. But yeah, like it just makes me feel like kind of cool because that means like I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like if you were wondering like, hey, could I like have a YouTube channel, or should I start live streaming, right? Or like should I start recording what I already do, right? Like, cause like maybe there's like somebody who you trust to like record you when you're on stage, and then maybe you are using that content to build a platform. Because I mentioned how like everybody needs role models and inspiration. Like there's some kind of niche that you are falling into. Like there's a black cat that you have, and people who have that same black cat are looking for people who have that black cat out in the world. Because like I mentioned in another reading, like nobody wants to feel alone, right? So it's beneficial to just show yourself being yourself, because there are other people who are living that same kind of life, kind of like the Spider Verse, like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Into the Spider Verse. And then I'm using the Citadel right now, like the Citadel of Ricks from like Rick and Morty. Like there are other people like you who would benefit from the representation that you have to offer. So one of those devilish beliefs, like that card is out here for you, could be like I'm afraid to make myself known as I am. The keywords in the champion card, interestingly enough, are kind of opposite. It's like achievement and downfall. So like there could be some things that you're really proud of personally that you don't want to make publicly known. Like I'm proud of the fact that I know how to read cards, but when I go to church, like I wouldn't mention the fact that I read cards. Because like according to like Christian philosophy traditionally, like this is like sin, like it's like evil. I mean, I'm like obviously chilling, but like there's a certain stigma around the things that I do in the occult realms that makes some people who I normally would want to feel comfortable around me feel uncomfortable. So that kind of keeps me sometimes from like fully advertising everything I have going on and being as active in my community as I want to be, because I'm kind of always thinking about what the implications could be of me being known as I am. So if that is you, like there could be some more like, once again, self-development that is yet to be done related to how you feel about your own black cat. Because you might have like a desire to protect yourself from whoever might be on the other end of the door. Like if you were to open yourself up. You have the Catalyst in reverse, radical changes and taking control. I think that there's some kind of like emerging process, like a butterfly from a cocoon. Like if you were like hearing me talk about like becoming an influencer in some kind of way, and you felt like even just a little bit kind of inspired or like excited by that, then that's something that you should probably pursue. Because I do feel like you at this point are having so much of a skill set that you are already a leader in your niche. People around you are already the king, are already seeing you like that. Control, reverse of fortune. So like it would be you holding yourself back from living in your full potential if you were to like continue to kind of be shy about certain things that you were like being gifted. The pilgrim, new opportunities and growth. And this is a time for you to kind of like start to travel outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Do new things, get new outcomes, be seen as the person that you are in private or in that smaller group. What's this? What's this? And because then he brings the Christmas stuff back to Halloween Town. And then they're like, some of them were like, what the hell is this? And other of them were like, oh, we're excited by this. And then some of them were like, we're gonna destroy this. So I mean, like, you have to kind of be okay and know that there are gonna be different reactions to all of these black cat ways that you have. And it's not your responsibility to control people's reactions to what it means for you to be you as you are. It's more so you're just meant to kind of be shouldering the weight and the burden of what your significance is, kind of like Jesus Christ. So yeah, there could be some times when you're literally like crucified for some of these traits that you have, but there is like kind of the guarantee of a reward for all the suffering that you're going through. Also, like there is a salvation experience. There's like a deliverance from the suffering, and then there's like a ability for you to kind of be exalted amongst people who celebrate you, for being someone who's willing to do those things. So yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was talking about in the notes. I said having patience, knowing that God's on your side, and that real magicians maximize self-sufficiency, evolving your abilities to reach the next level. So I feel like that's what ties into the whole like, okay, I want to record myself. I want to be known. I want to be seen doing this thing that I already do. That I already know that I'm good at. I want to start to share my abilities. I want to get even more appreciation. I want to pull in passive income. Like this could be a time for you to like really have these like personal self-to-self conversations, self-to-God conversations about what the next step is for you, like how long, because like you're in an environment right now, you're in that nightlife like vampire environment, right? So like if you're like, oh, sometimes I really hate showing up to work, but I really love to dance. Like you could start right now transitioning into a way where like you could record yourself in like your own apartment, maybe with your pole dancing, or like in a studio with your pole dancing, and then that could be the place where you dance, and that's like even more um a little bit more, even more pure. Like you would have started from the bottom and went to the top because you started out kind of in the club, and then now you're doing it just for the art of doing it, or like you're starting to be around people who are like not doing it for money or so much for male validation, but more so for the art of it, or for the enjoyment of it, or for the actual like sacral healing aspect of it. um and then you're kind of like purifying your own practice, and then you're also um just evolving as a person, as a creator, as an artist into the next version of yourself that you're meant to be, because I feel like you're probably already starting to like be too good for the environments that you're in, to the extent that you might even start to experience more like predatory people, because they themselves, like, as they're experiencing you, are starting to realize this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like they're like, oh my god, this beautiful like Filipina girl is giving me a lap dance, and I just can't control myself, and I have to like cross this boundary, and like that's part of what goes along with the occupational hazard, right? So like if you like get fatigued from that, like this is a way out of that. I feel like when you start to kind of take more personal control over how you're sharing your energy, which I feel like you could do by recording yourself in the act now for other people to enjoy, even beyond them being in the physical place where you do your work. So just kind of like starting to take more ownership over what you do. Some kind of entrepreneurial extension of what you're currently doing that kind of guarantees a long-term future of what you currently do. Real magicians maximize self-sufficiency. So that the black cat can live on. All right, thank you for booking this. I hope that you enjoyed it and you got everything that you needed out of it. And I will see you later. Oh shit, I can't leave. No.